The Galactic Council's emergency session had been called for the third time that cycle, and Ambassador Aliana of the Xanthari Coalition was losing patience. The holographic display showed the same creature that had caused panic across 4 star systems. A writhing mass of tentacles, crystalline spikes, and what appeared to be far too many eyes for any reasonable life form. "This is a Category 5 apex predator," declared Commander Vexthor, his scales rippling with anxiety. "It consumed an entire research station on Kepler 442b. 17 scientists gone in minutes." Aliana nodded gravely, her elongated fingers tapping against the console. The creature, designated as Specimen X7, had been discovered in the depths of an uncharted nebula. Initial scans revealed it possessed regenerative capabilities, adaptive camouflage, and a disturbing intelligence that defied conventional classification. "We must deploy the eradication fleet immediately," insisted the Krill representative, her voice synthesizer crackling with urgency, "before it reaches populated sectors." That's when the chamber doors opened. James Riley walked in wearing a faded NASA jacket and carrying a coffee thermos, looking entirely too relaxed for someone interrupting an emergency session of the galaxy's most powerful governing body. The human representative had only been assigned to the council 6 months ago, and he already had a reputation for being unconventional. "Sorry I'm late," James said, sliding into his seat. Traffic on the quantum highway was murder. He glanced at the holographic display and froze. "Oh, is that what this is about?" "Human Riley," Aliana began, her tone sharp. "We are discussing the extermination of the most dangerous predator discovered in the last 3 centuries. Your levity is—" "Hold on," James interrupted, leaning forward. "You're talking about Fluffy?" The silence that followed was profound. "Fluffy?" Vexthor's voice cracked. "You've named it?" James pulled out his personal datapad and swiped through several images. "Yeah, found her drifting near the Mars-Jupiter transport lane about 2 weeks ago. She was injured. Looked like she'd been in some kind of territorial fight. I brought her aboard my shuttle." Aliana felt her 3 hearts skip collectively. "You brought it aboard your vessel? Are you insane?" "She was hurt," James protested. "What was I supposed to do, just leave her there?" He turned the datapad around, showing a series of photos. In them, the fearsome Specimen X7 was curled up in what appeared to be a cargo bay, wrapped in thermal blankets. In another image, James was hand-feeding it something from a bowl. "That creature killed 17 researchers," the Krill representative hissed. "Yeah, I read the report," James said, scrolling through his datapad. "You guys tried to capture it, stuck it in a magnetic containment field, and hit it with neural disruptors when it tried to escape. Of course, it defended itself." He looked up. "Fluffy's actually super gentle once you show her you're not a threat." "Impossible," Vexthor declared. "Our xenobiologist classified it as non-sentient. Pure instinct and aggression." James laughed, a sound that made several council members flinch. "Your xenobiologist spent 3 days poking it with cattle prods. Did anyone try just talking to it?" "Talking?" Aliana repeated. "It doesn't have a vocal apparatus compatible with—" "Communication isn't just verbal, Ambassador." James tapped his datapad again. "Fluffy responds to gestures, tonal patterns, even emotional states. She's empathic. When I was stressed about the Proxima Centauri negotiations last week, she wrapped a tentacle around my wrist, calmed me right down." The chamber erupted in protests. James waited patiently for the chaos to subside, sipping his coffee. Finally, Aliana raised a hand for silence. "Human Riley, you understand this violates approximately 47 different quarantine protocols?" 49, actually, James corrected cheerfully. "But here's the thing, Fluffy isn't the problem, we are. Every species on this council has the same first response to something we don't understand. Contain it, study it, control it. Humans learned a long time ago that sometimes you just need to offer trust before you receive it." "That's absurd," Vexthor snapped. "Predators cannot be trusted. Tell that to humans and wolves," James replied. "We turned apex predators into dogs. Started with trust, patience, and respect. Took a few thousand years, but it worked out pretty well." Aliana studied the human carefully. His species had only joined the Galactic Council 2 years ago, yet they'd already challenged more established protocols than any member in history. They were reckless, emotional, and seemingly incapable of following reasonable safety procedures. They were also, she admitted reluctantly, Often right. What do you propose? She asked quietly. James smiled. Let me introduce you properly. No weapons, no containment fields, no restraints. Just meet her. If after that you still think she's a threat, I'll respect the council's decision. The debate lasted another hour, but eventually, Aliana agreed to a demonstration. 3 days later, she found herself aboard James's shuttle, every instinct screaming at her to flee. Fluffy emerged from the cargo bay slowly, her crystalline spikes glinting in the artificial light. Up close, she was even more terrifying, easily 4 meters tall with tentacles that could crush steel. Her multiple eyes fixed on Aliana, and the ambassador felt her body lock in primal fear. Then James stepped forward, placing a hand on one of Fluffy's tentacles. Hey girl, this is Ambassador Aliana. She's a friend. The creature's eyes shifted, studying Aliana with what seemed like
curiosity.
One tentacle extended slowly, almost hesitantly. She wants to greet you, James explained. It's okay. Just stay calm. Against every survival instinct, Aliana extended her hand. The tentacle wrapped around it gently, surprisingly warm with a texture like smooth stone. She felt a pulse of something through the contact, not quite telepathy, but emotion, curiosity, caution, hope. She's been alone for a long time, James said softly. Her species is nearly extinct. She wasn't attacking that research station. She was looking for help. And they hurt her first. Aliana looked into those alien eyes and saw something she hadn't expected. Intelligence, sadness, and a desperate need for connection. Humans are crazy, she whispered. James grinned. Yeah, but we're also pretty good at making friends with monsters. Turns out most monsters are just misunderstood. 6 months later, Specimen X7, officially designated as Fluffy in all galactic records, became the first of her kind to serve as an ambassador to the Galactic Council. She had a particular talent for disaster relief, using her strength and resilience to rescue trapped survivors in environments too dangerous for other species. And James? He adopted 3 more dangerous creatures that year. The galaxy was learning what humanity had always known. Sometimes the scariest monsters just needed someone brave enough to call them Fluffy.